The parliamentary precinct where our reporter Abra Barbier is standing by. Abra, good afternoon to you once again. So it's all eyes on Parliament, and by vast opinion we're expecting the President to spend much of SONA on the economy.
Natasha, good afternoon. Yes, that is a big focus according to many political parties, opposition parties. That is what they are really hoping that he will focus on today. We haven't been able to get much information in terms of what exactly will be in the speech, of course, because as you know that we will only hear at 7 o'clock tonight. But what I can tell you about what is happening here at Parliament at the moment is that it's a buzz. There's lots happening. It's not chaotic. Everything seems to be going according to plan. There are lots of journalists. My colleagues from the various media houses are all trying to get as much information as possible. We're all trying to scoop each other and find out exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And hopefully I'll be able to get some of that information right now from the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Lechesa Tsenoli. Deputy Speaker, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, as things stand right now, is everything on track?
As far as we are concerned, yes, ma'am. Everything is on track. We're not expecting any hassles so far.
Now, that's been the line that we've been hearing for the last 2 weeks, and us as journalists, we've been probing and trying to find out exactly what's happening. Sir, we all know last year wasn't a great year in terms of the SONA itself, and I'm talking about the disruptions. There's been a lot of focus on that. As I drove into Parliament today myself, I saw that the streets had been lined and the security just seems to be beefed up. Has it been beefed up more this year, or is this all part of the normal procedure?
Let me first start politically in the House. That we have had State of Nation addresses before. One of the agendas of the fourth Parliament was to do the review of rules. We've done that, 15 chapters altogether, but we were forced this year, because of developments in the House, to isolate one of those rules for immediate application because of the chaotic and disruption that occurred in the House. So we needed to adjust that. So that's an evaluation of the past political practice. Our instructions to the security forces is that, guys, do everything in your power to ensure that everything goes smoothly, because we must assure our visitors, the people inside the House, the people outside there wanting to hear what the President says, that we'll try and get things as smooth as possible. Ensure that for us. They too would have looked at what happened in the past, what has happened now, and we assume that they would have adjusted it accordingly, given their own assessment of what is otherwise a usual thing that the security must do for us in Parliament.
So now if I can just shift focus a little bit from today to what's actually going to happen the rest of the year. Now, yes. You've been at the forefront of lots of this chaos. I mean, we sit and we watch you having to control everything, you and your colleagues up there, and it cannot be easy. Yes. And this year's an election year. Yes. So I don't know if I should say that politicians and MPs are going to be on their best behavior, because that could go either way, considering it is an election year. You sitting up there, having to deal with everything that goes on. What's that like?
It's a tough assignment. It's a tough because part of our responsibility is to ensure that what happens inside the House represent the best possible things that must be done. People must be happy that the way we conduct this Parliament as a platform for public consideration of issues is done robustly, but always with respect and with regard to the rules of conduct accepted by all 13 political parties in the National Assembly and those in the National Council of Provinces. So our hope always is to appeal to the members of Parliament and political parties to dissuade them from conducting themselves in ways that they will not be proud of in front of their own constituencies. Many people confront us wherever we go, including when we met with ambassadors recently in Pretoria. Their questions mostly were about, can't you guys find a way to prevent people from interrupting when others are talking? So there is a discomfort that others watching what happens feel And they ask us to find a way to deal with that. That's what makes sitting there such a tough assignment. That people expect us to have a way to handle those things so that they are able to listen to the debate and be able to assess what is being said, because that's their way of participating. Parliament opens these proceedings to the public for them to participate by listening and then afterwards reacting to communicate to us, so that in our consideration of these issues and in the debate that the political parties have here, those matters that the public say are taken on board. And this is why disruption is negative. It's not helpful. And also because, you see, South Africa has been a very critical component of the regional politics and in the continent, but also globally as well, is in very important forums. So as a result, what happens in Parliament during this period is absolutely important for them to assess one way or another their relationship with us. And this is why we feel, particularly as we move around in other parliaments, visiting others, that's the first question they ask us. Okay. How are you dealing with these disruptions? Because they are bad. We also don't want them to be replicated in our own parliament. So it's an important issue for us as we sit there in the House trying to navigate the public debate as agreed to according to the rules. Ours and the guidance given us is the rules, because given 400 members of parliament, you need to have rules to help them deal with the issues.
On that note, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, tonight we will see if those new rules which were adopted last year, if they're actually going to be able to take effect. So we will have that coming to you live later on this evening. And as you heard the Deputy Speaker saying that as things stand at the moment, everything is going well and they're really hoping that there will be no disruptions. Natasha, back to you.
Abra, thank you very much. Well, there you have it. It's all systems go. A lot of activity amid a heavy security presence at Parliament. That was our reporter, Abra Barbier, speaking to the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Lechesa Tsenoli.